Hello, my name is Jim Olson, and this is a video on using the ESV, which is the English Standard Version Bible. I'll be looking at the print version and emphasizing the online version. The purpose of this video is to show some of the many useful helps and notes available online and in print in the English Standard Version Study Bible and how to find them online. Here is a copy of the ESV Study Bible. It's a fairly thick Bible, and it has lots of things in it. Maybe I'll show you Luke as an example. Here's the introduction to Luke. And there's lots of things in the introduction, including tables and maps. Also typical of a study Bible, at the top of the page, you have the actual Bible, and at the bottom, you have notes for many of the verses in the Bible, and I'll be showing that to you more clearly on the online version. After the Bible has lots of study helps and charts and maps, and there's much in this study Bible beyond just the Bible itself. Now let's look over at the online ESV. Now get yourself a new tab and type in esv.org. And it's going to take you right to the Bible, which is a little bit different than a lot of websites. On this left-hand side, it gave us Luke 1. That may have been what I was at last, but if you want to go to a different Old Testament book, you hit the Old Testament tab here and come down to whatever book that you want, Exodus, for example, and tell the chapter, and it will take you to that. Let's jump back to Luke and use that as an example. It's a New Testament book. Here's Luke, and I'm going to go to chapter 1. And the left-hand side is the Bible itself, and the right-hand side are your own notes and the study Bible features. You can have bookmarks, which is nice. You can make notes for yourself. I do encourage you to make an account. It's free, and get yourself logged in so that when you make bookmarks and notes, they will be saved into the future, including highlights and more. But you want to point out this particular button right here, and this is going to be the study Bible. And I think I may have to hit this the first time. Yes. And these are going to be linked. If I happen to be on Luke over here, it's going to be on Luke over here. And we have the introduction to Luke. And this is the same thing we would see in the print Bible. In the introduction, it tells the author. It gives the date. It gives the theme, the timeline, which is kind of nice. And let me see if I can click and make that bigger. Yes. If I make it bigger, we see that these are some dates from actually before the writing of the book through after the writing of the book. After the timeline, we have the purpose, occasion, and background. History of salvation summary, some literary features. The Bible is full of different literary forms, from poems to narratives to history, genealogies, and so on. It's important to understand the literary aspect. And there are the key themes, which is very useful, and it tells where they're going to be appearing. And they have a nice map here. And certainly not least very important is an outline. So as you're reading through, you can be following an outline. And this outline is particularly detailed. All the outlines are not this detailed, but I think they decided that the Gospel of Luke was important enough to have a very detailed outline. Okay, so when we get down to the bottom of the introduction, we can see here that we are in the introduction. And if you hit the back button here, it takes you back to the study Bible. And here we have the notes. So here's the beginning of Luke, and here's some notes on Luke 1, 1 through 4, Luke 1, 1, Luke 1, 2, and 3. And here's a particular chart which may be useful to you. And as you progress here on this left-hand side, you can see that the right-hand side moves along with you. So if you happen to be reading here in verse 35, you can look over here and see the notes on verse 35. Very, very nicely laid out. This is not set up as a typical website with lots of menus and tables of contents. I want to show you how you can find things here. You can just so let's say that you wanted to find the introduction to a book of the Bible, but you forgot how to do it. You can just type it in here. Type in Introduction to Ezekiel at ESV.org. And when Google sees the at ESV.org, it's only going to be searching in ESV.org. And right here it is. And it takes you to the introduction. One of the nice things about this particular form is that it shows a little timeline. Actually, I think this introduction to Ezekiel is slightly different than this one over here. It looks like this one is a little bit more lengthy. We might look down here at the outline. Yes, I see that the outline here is more extensive in this introduction to Ezekiel than in this introduction to Ezekiel, where the outline is a little shorter. So you've got two different introductions there. The next thing I'd like to show you, which you would Google for, is maps. Maps at ESV.org. And here's maps at ESV.org. If somebody knows how to find this using the ESV website with the table of contents, you can put it in the comments. It'll help me out. If they've got a number of nice maps here. Here's the Middle East today. Here's the time of the patriarchs. And here is the Exodus from Egypt. Now, these look a little bit blurry, but if you click it, it gives you the full resolution. And here is where the couple of different places they think they crossed the Red Sea. And here's Mount Sinai, for example. We have the tribal allotments. Once again, kind of blurry here, but if you click it, you get a high resolution version of it here, and you can zoom in and zoom out and see where the 12 tribes settled. Here's the United Kingdom of Saul, David, and Solomon, and so on, including down through the New Testament. Here's a map of Palestine under Roman rule. Here's the apostles' early ministry and the location where they think that Saul saw his vision of Christ on his way to Damascus, and the missionary journeys, and so on. The other thing that I want to show on this video, and there are many other things that I won't be showing, is the timelines. So if you type in Google timeline at ESV.org, there's an Old Testament timeline and a New Testament timeline, and this is very useful. I will comment here that the United Kingdom, which began with King Saul and then David and then Solomon, the dates prior to that are kind of iffy, and historians aren't sure on the dates. So these dates, there's actually two major theories. Once we get to the United Monarchy or the United Kingdom, the dates are pretty close and pretty well known because they use extra biblical documents, in other words, findings outside the Bible, to find the dates for the divided kingdom, the exile, return from exile, and so on. So I encourage you to look at those timelines, and I will be doing some more with timelines in another video. Another thing from the ESV.org website is other content listings, and I will be including this link in the description of the video. There are lots of other things here. It is quite random, but you could either search the page or just find something interesting here. Here, for example, is a list of the kings of Persia mentioned in the books of Ezra and Nehemiah. Before I sign off and close this video, I'll show you my website, faith.drjimo.net, and you'll find other resources there about the Bible and Christianity. I close with this passage from 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 16 and 17. All scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, so that the servant of God may be thoroughly equipped for every good work. It's my prayer that you can study the Bible so that you can be equipped for good works in the world. This has been a video on using the ESV. My name is Jim Olson. I hope you found this video useful. My YouTube name is there, and my website, faith.drjimo.net, is there. Have a great day.